Hello, EOS Nation, and welcome to episode 48 of EOS Hot Sauce. I'm your host, Daniel Keys, with a special EOS Worker Proposal System edition of the Hot Sauce this week. Plus, we'll be covering EOS and Ethereum DeFi stress test results, Sense.Chat 2.0, Wax Lab release, and much more. EOS Hot Sauce is available in every format. You can watch on YouTube, listen on SoundCloud, listen on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast player, and subscribe to the EOS Nation newsletter at eosnation.io. Whichever format you prefer, make sure you smash that like, hit that bell, give us a subscription, and give us a 5-star rating. So strap yourself in and get that glass of milk ready, because it's going to be a spicy one. First up, EOS Worker Proposal System. The EOS Worker Proposal System is almost here. We'll soon be seeking approval from 15 of the top 21 block producers to deploy it to the EOS mainnet. The EOS WPS is a funding mechanism that enables developers and other value creators to seek funding from the EOS blockchain for their projects outside of EOS block rewards. Modeled closely after the Dash budget proposal system, which has been successfully funding projects benefiting the Dash ecosystem, it also pulls from our experience designing and maintaining the Boss ecosystem program. We've analyzed real node, developer, and token holder behavior in both these systems over an extended period of time in order to design an improved version for the EOS mainnet. This decentralized voting and distribution mechanism is governed by the rules within the WPS smart contracts, which allows any EOS account to propose a budget for the specific project and block producers elected by token holders to vote on them. Each proposal that passes is paid directly from the EOSIO.WPS account to the EOS account that proposed the work. Built by EOS Nation and Attic Lab, it's already live and in testing on the Jungle testnet. Consult our full EOS WPS user guide for a complete breakdown of the system, which includes a WPS overview covering voting periods and funding, passing proposals, proposer requirements, includes a quick reference guide, frequently asked questions, and a video overview. And our proposal submission walkthrough, which walks you through how to sign into the EOS WPS portal, set up a proposal, provide a detailed description of your proposal, set up your project timeline, publish your proposal, and also includes a video walkthrough. You can find a link to that video, as well as our quick reference guide and videos, in the article on our website. Next up, EOS and Ethereum DeFi stress test results. The volatility in the crypto markets has recently spiked to incredible levels, and the violent price drop on March 12 to 13 caused enormous amounts of liquidations for investors that were leveraged long on various crypto assets. The DeFi space was of course under scrutiny as many wondered how various platforms such as MakerDAO on Ethereum and Equilibrium on EOS would perform during such times of extreme market volatility and high network usage. The over-collateralized nature of these platforms means that as price drop, users are potentially exposed to liquidations. Rapid drops in price can trigger rapid action on the platforms. Were they able to hold up? The team over at Equilibrium wrote an excellent in-depth article describing how EOS and Ethereum DeFi made it through the market turmoil. We highly recommend everyone take the time to read it as it explains complex concepts in ways that it's easy to understand. Spoiler, Equilibrium came out smelling like roses and MakerDAO, well, not so much. Although the full breakdown is certainly worth the read, here's a quick recap. The problems for MakerDAO were caused by congestion on the Ethereum network, which led to all the MakerDAO oracles failing to update the on-chain prices of various assets. In the end, over $7 million was extracted from the MakerDAO platform. Quoted from the article, Equilibrium's EOSDT doesn't require any third-party involvement, since the system identifies under-collateralized user positions automatically on every price update. Due to the Ethereum network clog, most of MakerDAO's keepers were unable to trigger liquidations. At the same time, some vaults were not considered under-collateralized thanks to the overestimated on-chain price. Worth mentioning that liquidations in Equilibrium EOSDT are as simple as an ordinary asset transfer to a smart contract, compared to MakerDAO, where a sophisticated keeper bot is required. The simplification of the liquidation interface makes it available for a broader audience and might mitigate potential inefficiencies. Next up, SenseChat 2.0. Since their launch in March 2019, the EOS-based Sense.Chat brought encrypted messaging and video calls between blockchain addresses to their users. In just 1 year, a total of 60,000 Sense.Chat accounts were created, and the team was happy to welcome renowned crypto investor Tim Draper to the board of directors. Here in the EOS Hot Sauce, we often reported about the new features that Sense.Chat team is working on, creating a place for people to literally make more sense, the currency that participants can earn for valuable contributions. The release of SenseChat 2.0 seems to be very close, as the team published an article and opened a waiting list for early access. With a radically rebooted front-end, back-end, and more blockchain-agnostic approach, the upcoming release goes far beyond a regular update. You can expect the following features: a safe, secure platform where you can chat with your friends, family, and followers, new and improved community management tools, exclusive features that reward engagement and promote positive contribution, and a peer-to-peer account verification system that will help spot fake accounts, scams, and spam. The original version of Sense.Chat will be maintained but will be relabeled as EOS Chat. Users that already participated need to re-register to join the upgraded version. Next up, Wax Labs release and partnership with Chainlink. The Vivid Wax community enjoyed another action-packed week, and with the release of Wax Labs, the largest community-owned worker proposal system in the entire blockchain ecosystem, we can expect that more active builders will join Wax. With a total of 75 million Wax tokens, this fund can be a significant stimulus for the developers who are compensated for their efforts, the community for having access to additional resources, and the Wax organization, which can leverage the creativity of the community to advance projects. Proposals will be reviewed by a committee selected by the Wax guilds and will be put up for a vote when they pass, so that Wax token holders can decide whether or not they want to fund the project. In order to pass, a proposal needs to reach a threshold of 35% of all staked Wax tokens voting in favor of it within 30 days. We're happy to report that the Wax Guild Pink Network were successful with a proposal, creating a hub for the Atomic Assets NFT standard, and made history as the first Wax Lab funded project out of many more to come. Thanks to the Wax Service Layer, a suite of out-of-the-box solutions that can be easily integrated in with any application built on Wax, it's already very attractive and efficient for developers. And with the added opportunity to get projects funded through the Wax Labs, we can expect even more productivity on Wax in the near future. The Wax Guild, Green EOSIO, summarized all these benefits in a great article where they describe Wax as a treasure chest for blockchain game developers. The card game Dark Country decided to move to Wax already a while back, and to celebrate their upcoming launch, they airdropped a free NFT game card to each Wax account to be used within the game. The activity is ongoing, and you can still receive your free Dark Country airdrop if you create your Wax account today. With many new games and big traditional companies like Tops bringing their users onto Wax, there'll be an influx of people with little to no blockchain experience. Once their accounts hold a significant value, the importance of secure key management can't be stressed enough. So comprehensive educational materials are necessary to avoid frustration during the onboarding process. On that note, we're happy to share a great article by Wax Sweden covering the best practices for account security, not only specific to Wax, but also for anyone who wants to upgrade or check the status of their blockchain account security. We have yet another piece of spicy Wax news. Not long after the team gave the community some hints about a new partnership with the global tech company that will be a game changer for the Wax ecosystem, the Wax team announced their cooperation with Chainlink to bring off-chain data and resources to the Wax and EOSIO ecosystem. We're happy to see such cross-chain activities, as we strongly believe the future is multi-chain. Last but not least, don't forget to check out the latest episode of Wax On, where William Quigley shared his interesting perspective on the future of NFTs in 2020 and beyond. Next up, Ultra Technologies and Methodologies. Remy James of Ultra wrote an interesting article where he shared some insights on how the Ultra team is working, what are some of the most used tools, and how they structured their workload. The article contains great nuggets and tips for any startup, and gives readers that are unfamiliar with blockchain a quick intro into the benefits of EOSIO blockchain technology, which is at the heart of Ultra's platform. Remy James was quoted, "EOSIO supports deploying upgrades to business logic and core technologies, whereas some technologies like Ethereum require essentially a hard fork of their entire system." He also presented the following points that make Ultra a unique choice for game developers: easy deployment and distribution through the Game Dev Center, a built-in user base with effective tools for marketing apps in new ways, and more money for developers, since Ultra is charging a fairer rate than the App Store, Google Play, or Steam. The Ultra team, consisting currently of 60 employees, continues to grow, and the article demonstrates that the way they organize their efforts is as innovative as the product. Next up, Chronos. Deferred transactions will be depreciated in future EOSIO releases, due to the multiple issues they generate. But scheduled future tasks are widely used by dApps and smart contract developers. Chronos came up with an alternative model that lets developers submit tasks on an on-chain pool, which will later be executed by users who want to put their unused CPU to work. These users effectively become miners and would receive a reward. Chronos is a second-layer solution for scheduled jobs and lives entirely on the main chain, It's decentralized and trustless. Anyone can execute the necessary actions. For developers, Chronos can be easily integrated with their smart contract by just including a single C++ header file to make it easy to interact with the Chronos smart contract. The project is currently available as a beta release on the mainnet and Jungle. Chronos will be managed by a DAC in the not-too-distant future. Check out their website for a great video tutorial by Hodl EOS for future information. Next up, Boyd on EOSIO Resources. The EOS token's built-in utility is ownership of the shared network resources, and therefore the right to use the EOS mainnet proportionally to how much one person owns. This approach brought us the speed and cost efficiency of EOS transactions. However, while being innovative, there is also a need for fine-tuning and optimization. The Boyd team published an article that analyzed the current resource allocation model of the EOS mainnet and also pointed out how in some cases it could cause potential difficulties for users and developers. Along with this great analysis, they also proposed a resource calculation API, a solution that would be available as a unified standard for all dApps and wallets to bring more clarity and user-friendliness in the process of using EOS. The suggested API has the following components and services: an on-chain resource provider registry, a co-signing endpoint, a respective JavaScript library for easy integration into dApps and wallets, and a resource estimation service. In the article, you'll also find examples of the use of such an API and a mock-up of how necessary information could be shared with the user before they sign a transaction. Next up, EOS Tools, Joint Permission Asset Branch Transfer. The China-based EOSTools.io team already developed a wide selection of innovative tools and services, which are all available on their website. The newest contribution, the EOS Joint Permission Asset Branch Transfer tool, was just integrated into TokenPocket. You can find it under Discover, New Product, EOS Joint Permission Asset Branch Transfer tool. It allows the transfer of any EOS-based token from multiple accounts with just one signature. This can be useful when you received an airdrop to multiple accounts, but you want to move all those airdrop tokens to one account, for example. EOS Tools allows you to batch import accounts through the public key or account creator. After logging, the tool will automatically gather all the attached accounts through their public key information. Then you can choose which accounts you want to include in the batch. CPU will only be billed to the account that's logged in, so that other accounts that potentially don't have enough CPU will also be able to join in the batch transfer. Next up, DAP Network Expansion, YOOS and Telos. The goal of the Liquid Apps DAP network is to provide tools for builders across all chains. And as of last week, developers building on YOOS and Telos can access more cost-effective resources, more flexibility, and more trustless functionality through the use of Liquid Apps services. While the EOS mainnet is used by the DAP network for staking, billing, and claiming rewards, LiquidX allows DApp service providers or DSPs to offer services on any EOSIO chain. Michael Bonin of EOS USA took the initiative to utilize LiquidX so that his DSP node can provide services to dApps on both platforms. The EOS USA team is already a block producer on both of these networks, and therefore a perfect example of the case made in LiquidApp's most recent blog post headline, "A strong BP is also a DSP." In the article, you can learn more about the role a DSP plays in the ecosystem and details on how to spin up your own DSP service. It's exciting to see the spirit of competitive cooperation, or co-opetition, that started on the EOS mainnet, now reaching across several EOSIO networks, with DSPs and BPs bridging the gaps. Next up, South Korea military uses EOSIO decentralized identity system. A few weeks back, we heard that the South Korean Military Manpower Administration, or MMA, is using EOSIO software to build a digital identity platform. The result is OmniOne, a private chain that is currently in beta testing on block.one's testnet. In its first month, 50,000 usage records have already been made, and it could potentially be reaching a user base of 1.65 million people in the Army Draft or Mobilization Reserve Army. The initial authentication uses mobile platform authentication via QR codes, and then DID users authenticate with a fingerprint and PIN password. OmniOne is planning to launch the new EOSIO network using DID later this year. Developers interested in the code of this digital ID solution can look into OmniOne ID on GitHub. Finally, Layer 1 interview with Yves Larose and Stéphane Bizon. EOS Nation CEO Yves Larose and COO Stéphane Bizon were invited to Layer 1 podcast to discuss a lot of interesting topics, from the role of an EOS block producer in the history of EOS Nation to the potential of voice and EOS worker proposal system. We're thankful for the opportunity to have this great conversation and encourage all our listeners and readers to check it out. And when you're done, make sure to check out other episodes of Layer 1, as they're a great source of information about developments in the blockchain space. And that's all for this week's episode of EOS Hot Sauce. EOS Nation is a top 21 block producer on the EOS public network. We earn inflation rewards based on the percentage of tokens staked towards us. Those rewards are reinvested into EOSIO community, tools, and infrastructure. Help grow the ecosystem by staking your vote to EOS Nation FTW for BP or proxying to Proxy for Nation. Remember, we never accept compensation in exchange for featuring projects in the EOS Hot Sauce. That means if a project is included in the Hot Sauce, it's because we believe that project brings value to the EOSIO ecosystem, and we want our community to know about it. Are you building an interesting project on EOSIO? We want to hear from you. Reach out to us on social media or email info@eosnation.io. Thanks for supporting EOS Nation and listening to this week's edition of EOS Hot Sauce. Want more spicy updates? Check out eosnation.io. Once again, I'm your host, Daniel Keys, and we'll catch you again next week. Until then, let's keep it spicy.